All right, guys, we're going to talk about kind of about sport media and opportunities in sport media. We're going to look at different types, kind of purposes of sport media, the relationship. We'll look at a little bit of a historical overview, and we'll talk a little bit about journalism. So, a lot of media is still out there. Print media is somewhat going away. Don't see it as much. It's being converted to electronic type media. So that's something that probably with the exception of books, that's really going away. Um, Electronic media just keeps evolving, guys. Radio is never going to go away, but TV, film, video games, podcasts, social media, all those things continue to evolve and just get more elaborate. And this is really where the jobs are in sport media. So comes to this question of what is the purpose of why are we having sport media? Why do we have media in general? Is it for entertainment? Is it for information? Is it for interpretation? It's hard to decide. I understand entertainment's always going to take kind of the precedent over what's happening, but some of the goals for sport media obviously is to make money. Some of it's to shape values, provide a public service. A lot of these people are trying to build their own reputation. They're trying to express their artistic self of by doing their job. And so understand that media and sport have to have each other. You're obviously seeing that right now more than any time in your life that you will see that sport needs media because media allows them to have advertising rights, fees, allows them to sell bill tickets. Media needs sport because it provides them with programming and ratings and gets people to actually watch their network. And so just kind of a historical overview of media, and we'll kind of go through this quick, but we started out with kind of print, newspapers, magazines, evolved into radio, television, eventually internet. And understand that early on, newspapers were really not read very much because literacy rates were so low. So really the only people who could read newspapers were the most wealthy people who actually knew how to read. The kind of golden age, a lot of people think of newspapers really in the 1920s with the evolution of baseball and horse racing and prize fighting. And newspapers were really never as popular as they were in that era. They've just slowly gone downhill as we've evolved. Like I said, radio started really to evolve in the 20s, and it just continues to evolve, and it's never going to go away. Some kind of real popular people in radio, Graham McNamee, kind of known as the father of radio broadcasting. Some things that he, called major sporting events. Okay, announced at Yankee Stadium, did World Series, All-Star games, championship fights, horse racing. Really popular guy. He called the Dempsey long count fight. He called the called shot in Babe Ruth's home run in the 32 World Series. So really prominent guy. Ted Hughes and Bill Stern, kind of competitive guys through the 30s and 40s. Hughes was more of a disc jockey type of guy. Hughes was more of a guy who covered all type of sporting events. Bill Stern, again, another really popular radio guy throughout the 50s. Had kind of was really one of the first shock jock type of guys, had that flair for the dramatic type deal. Called the first college baseball game. And as media evolved and radio evolved, we got television in the 50s, and really the popular things on sports to watch on TV were boxing and pro wrestling. 1958, you had the first NFL championship game. This is kind of really what propelled TV to the dominance that it has now, and really dominant through the 90s. now kind of social media, internet type TV has taken over that type of deal. So sports journalism, which a lot of people are interested in, there's a huge difference between this. Okay. Yeah, you have people who are writers, and these are people who really are digging into the sport. They know it in and out. And you have people who are announcers who are kind of trying to provide images, a commentary. And then bloggers have kind of blurred the line between these two roles because they're allowed to be able to do both things. So I think of all the jobs in sport, I think probably outside of working for the front office of a sport, getting into sport media is hard. So some things that you need to do. One, you have to know about sports. Okay. You have to have skills, and you have to be able to write. You have to be able to interview, to make video, to do social media. You have to know how to build relationships. You do this through volunteering and internships, and you work hard. And one of the advantages, why it is so hard to get into sport media, one thing sport media provides that no other part of sport does, is you can start doing this now. You can write on your own. You can create your own blog. You can create your own podcast. You can make your own name in sport. Now, nobody may listen to it but your friends, but it gives you a way to practice this stuff and to put in the work to be able to show somebody to get an internship. So just a little brief overview of what's going on in sport media.